Hot news: Susan Pompeos' travels during shutdown anger some diplomats, sources say CNNPolitics. Many diplomats, already demoralized by the partial government shutdown, were angry, according to multiple sources familiar with the situation. Eyebrows. A senior State Department official said this. It was Susan Pompeo's presence on the trip at a time State Department staff are working without pay that seemed to cause the furor. There are also a working trip. The secretary described it as a working. So, the State Department says most diplomats abroad have not been paid during the shutdown. Sources said many. According to three people familiar, Susan Pompeo was assigned a control officer who worked exclusively with her. That person was furloughed. Unpaid State Department employees in the various overseas embassies were called in to support the trip by the Secretary of State, because his travels are considered a high priority. Two sources familiar with the situation said that at one of the stops, a staffer and security were tasked with taking Susan Pompeo to the local market and shopping with her, an activity which caused a delay of about 35 minutes in departure to the next stop, they said. Another source with knowledge of the trip said people far. No one's pleased. No. Walter Schaub, the former director of the Office of Government Ethics, said the use of agency staff could violate conduct regulations. According to the Code of Federal Regulations, a federal employee shall. But it's a gray area, and according to retired Rear Admiral John Kirby, et. However, Kirby noted that such care. Brett Bruen, who served in the Obama White House as Director of Global Engagement, told CNN, during the trip, Secretary Pompeo noted that Susan Pompeo had met with some of his counterparts' spouses, visited with the families of embassy staff, medical personnel, and security staff, and toured housing. Frankly, Schaub told CNN that if State Department employees are being directed to sit, whether the State Department has not responded to CNN's questions about details of Susan Pompeo's part of the trip, including how many people were tasked with working with her at each of the stops, how much of the trip's cost she would reimburse, or how whatever recommendations she makes would be handled. At the start of the trip, a State Department spokesperson said her travel would meet all State Department regulations. Once this story published, however, State spokesperson Robert Palladino said he would not characterize a stop that Susan Pompeo made in Bahrain as a shopping trip, though that is how two sources described it to CNN. He told CNN, Palladino added Mrs. Similar role at CIA. Secretary Pompeo said his wife played a similar role when he served as CIA director. However, Kathleen Clark, a government ethics expert at the Washington University in St. Louis, told if
raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot, fucking on your bitch, yeah, that, looking up, open the park, pot.